Hello, fellow travelers. This is the domestic alchemist. One of the things that I found out, found this in a book. One of the big swaps you can make if you're eating a ketogenic way, like I like to do sometimes, is you can swap pasta with spaghetti squash. Never in my life made spaghetti squash. My mom didn't make it. I didn't grow up doing it. So I just dove right into it. And after a few times, I got my own method I think works well. I like to use spaghetti squash in place of pasta, but I like to use it in soups. And I found other applications. I chop it up like really in a fine way and I substitute it for rice, and I really like it that way too. So the first thing I like to do is cut my squash in half. I've got kind of a special knife I like to use. It's like a bread knife, I think. But because it's serrated, it really cuts the squash really well. So you try to go right in half, because the way I'm going to cook it, if you like make one side too big, the other one too small, it's not going to cook evenly. And that's really the key to getting spaghetti squash to come out right, is to cook it in such a way that it comes out all about the same consistency. So I'm going to cut it in half. And the thing I like to do with it also, you remove the seeds and the fiber inside before you cook it. That is really helpful, believe me. You don't want to do it after the fact. I know some of these cookbooks and such will tell you it's better to wait till after. That is absolutely not the case. So I got this spoon here. It has kind of a sharp edge to it. I'm just going to take all the seeds and the fiber in here out. As you can see, I'm taking it all out of there. One of the things I always am careful of, I don't want to do too much activity in a cooking video where you got the really boring steps and you're like stretching it out. I'm going to try to only show you the vital stuff, so this doesn't become a long video of really nothing going on. But I also want to give you an idea of how long it takes, so I don't want to like cut too much out. So we got that out of there. You really have to kind of judge how long to cook, because one of the important things too is if you overcook it, it becomes like mush. If you undercook it, it doesn't really have the texture that allows you to do what you want with it. So the next thing I do that I haven't really seen anyplace else, but this worked out well for me, I'm going to add a layer of water at the bottom of this pan. Just enough to cover the pan, maybe just over like, I don't know, between 1/4 and a 1/2 inch of water in the bottom. Then I'm going to set these in there like this. And I'm going to bake it at 350 for about 40 minutes. Just trial and error tells me that that's going to be about right. So I'm going to cook these for about 40 minutes, and then we're going to come back and finish up. And you want to see that part, because the last half where I show you how to extract the spaghetti squash is the part that's really helpful. So hold on. All right, so we're back, and what I did was I cooked these spaghetti squash in the oven for about 40 minutes at 350. And now I let them cool down so that I can actually handle them. And this is what I've been waiting to show you. There's a certain technique you need to use. To get these to come out right. And what you want to do You just want to go in a motion, like in a circle like this. And if you can see in there, you see how the fibers are sort of coming loose. You just scrape with the edge of the fork. It's still pretty hot. And as you scrape like that, it's going to come out. You can see in there, it comes out kind of looking like spaghetti, which is why it's spaghetti squash. So I'm going to continue to go around in sort of a circular motion. I keep turning it. This is pretty much ideal. You don't want to overcook it or undercook it, because if you overcook it, it's like mush. It's not really going to have a consistency like spaghetti. Hopefully you can see this. It's like angel hair pasta. So I'm going to keep on scraping. Keep going in a circle. Sometimes I go clockwise and I go counterclockwise. That helps to free it all up. Just keep scraping. And I would keep going, but I don't want to make the video super long. So I'm going to cut it, not short, but I'm going to sort of abbreviate it, because it takes time to go like detailed. You can see here with the other half. Keep scraping with the tines of the fork. You don't push it really hard, you just kind of let it go across the very surface. You just kind of lightly add pressure, not a whole lot. And I'm going to go through and like get more of it later. As you can see, you get this squash, it's like pasta. Now what I'm going to ultimately do is I'm going to scrape all that out carefully. I'm going to add what this is. This is ghee. I'm going to put just a little bit of ghee in there. And I'm going to stir it up real good. This will keep it from sticking together as much. And there you have it, spaghetti squash. And it's a good substitute for pasta. It's a lot less carbohydrate if you're looking for that, but you don't have to be motivated by that. It's just good anyway. And I've already mentioned this, but the tip from the domestic Alchemist today is you can take spaghetti squash and you can chop it up into fine pieces and use it in place of rice, which is another good swap if you're going for like keto, low carb. But even if you're not, it's really tasty, and it tends to absorb the sauces and the spices even better than rice does. So there you go, another episode and some more domestic alchemy.